Hello everyone and welcome to another Deviant.fun video. This time it's well, it could have been a live leaf through, but it's too short on notice, so we'll do it offline, and so that you get a better video quality too, because our live camera sucks, as you know. And yeah, we're still trying to get a new one, but with all the shops closed, it's complicated. Yeah, so let's start. So I've put some of the newest books here in a pile, but there's some more. But let's start with 20th Century Boys. This is actually to satisfy an order. Not that these books weren't already on our radar, but yeah, the order just got rushed as to satisfy an actual request. But this is something that has been on Deviant.fun's radar for quite a long time. And this is volume 3, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, volume 3. We're getting 3 different volumes. We've got 2 of them here. This is pretty standard manga. But it's color. I always get surprised when I see color in manga. I wish it had color all the way through. You know my feelings about color. I love it so much. But still, the artwork is very good. I like it. There's nothing extraordinary because the things that happen seem to be very mundane, not very sci-fi-ish or things like that. It doesn't have sword and sorcery, and the artwork is well adapted to it. It looks very, very good. It's a highly regarded manga, and I was trying to see. Okay, let me see the summary. The giant robot has been built, awaiting its great awakening, but the friend's identity has yet to be revealed. Time passes day by day, counting down to December 31, 2000, the day that Earth is destined to see its end. Well, we know it didn't happen, thank God. The only ones who can save the world are the 9 friends who wrote the Book of Prophecy in their childhood days. Will humanity enter the new world, the new century, safe and sound? Well, at least in our timeline, in our dimension of real life, we did. Though some people were bound to think that we wouldn't. Here is volume 5 with a very curious cover artwork. Maybe this is the robot that summary was talking about. So in this book, the action happens in 2014, so 6 years away from the Doom Day or Doom Year. Tokyo is under the complete control of the mysterious ruler known as the Friend. Kana has chosen us to step forward and confront the Friend in order to carry out last wishes of her uncle Kenji, who has been missing since bloody New Year's Eve. As Kano gathers a group of outcasts and misfits to face the Friend, her high school classmate Kaizumi faces true horror in the brainwashing camp known as Friendland. It is there that she sees something that no one was ever meant to see, the true identity of the Friend, who will survive in this world where it is nearly impossible to distinguish friend from foe. So, unlike I was saying before, this doesn't look sci-fi-ish, but you can see by the 2 summaries that it has some sci-fi to it. But judging by the looks of the book, That's not its main core at all. It must be more about the characters and drama between them, and running away from the bad guys, trying to solve and stop the end of the world. But very mundane, like I said. It's got 9 main characters, so there's room for lots of character interaction there. That's a big cast to have in a book. Yeah, that's it. So we're done with 20th Century Boys. We're just waiting for the other book to arrive so we can ship this out. And let's stick with manga. Let's get everything out. So this is also a very successful classic. It's now currently on number, I don't know what, maybe 30-ish. I don't even know the number because it has been very successful. It's got a super curious title. That time I got reincarnated as a slime. So that immediately has to catch your attention. So let's see. Average and exceptional 37-year-old salaryman Satoru Mikami has found himself in a gooey situation. After getting killed while saving his co-workers' lives, he gets a new lease on life. Just not the life he was expecting. He has been reincarnated in a fantasy world as a magic-wielding slime creature. Under his new name, Rimuro Tempest, this once normal man will have to learn to survive in this strange new world, and with his incredible wit, affable nature, and a few powerful allies, he'll quickly ooze his way into the hearts and minds of everyone he encounters along his journey. So this is a fantasy title, no doubt, by the summary. Let's see if the artwork is very fantastic or not. It is good artwork, that's for sure. But nothing out of the ordinary, something that we I'm just very curious because the premise of someone being a slime and getting to build a story around that, well, that's a feat. And if the book has got the traction that it has, so I think this guy deserves some congratulations, because it's not easy to have someone paying attention to a book where the character is a slime. Yeah, you certainly have to enrich the book in inventive ways, because your premise is so weird. Yeah, we're going to get more of this. So our idea was to get the first book for someone who was thinking of starting with it, just like we are starting to read more manga. But we're also getting one of the new series. I can't recall the name now. So it's that time I got reincarnated as a slime, and then there's a subtitle of some sort that I can't remember, and we're expecting that too, but it still hasn't arrived. Let's skip to something totally different now. Let's go to the big Marvel name. Marvel. So this is X-Men Alpha, The Age of Apocalypse. So Charles Xavier is dead. He was killed 20 years in the past during a time travel accident, and the world created by his absence is a nightmare. So Apocalypse rules with an iron fist, ruthlessly enforcing his dictum that only the strong shall survive. but hidden in Apocalypse's long shadow is a group of ragtag freedom fighters led by Xavier's oldest friend, Magneto. That's the X-Men. When Bishop, last survivor of the true Marvel Universe, explains how the world went wrong, these embittered mutants and their tenuous allies must risk everything to put things right. So once again, the world is the world's fate is at stake because of time travel and etc. Okay, we've seen it before, but let's hope that this time it's well, we know the ingredients, but we don't know if the recipe here is good. So this contains original material published as Uncanny X-Men in the 80s, 1981, and then 1991 X-Men Cable from 1993, X-Men Alpha 95, Generation X 95, Astonishing X-Men 95 2, Gambit and the Externals 95, Weapon X #1 from 1995 also, Factor X 95, and X-Men 95, Caliber, and Excalibur, yeah, and Amazing X-Men, also in the same year, X-Men Age of Apocalypse Ashcan edition. So this has been printed in 2020. It's in the late 2020. So it's just a collection of titles that, as you see, date from back from the 80s, but mostly 95. It's the most that you see here in the book. This is definitely the 80s, judging by the font and the illustrations. Let's take a look. But first, let's check out the writers that contributed here. So we're talking about Scott Lobdell, Mark Waid, Fabian Nicieza, Jeff Loeb, Larry Hama, John Francis Moore, and Warren Ellis also. So lots of big names here. And as for pencilers, we got Roger Cruz, Andy Kubert, Ron Garney, Ian Churchill, Steve Epting, Chris Bacallo, Joe Madureira, Tony Daniel. Oh, I thought he only did work for DC. Adam Kubert, Steve Scrooge, and Ken Lashley. I don't know every name, but it's also a big cast we've got there. Okay, here we see Xavier still living, or in an alternate plane of existence. I don't know, because I haven't read this. Okay, here's Storm within a very nice looking panel. Let me just center the image more so you can see it. And we've got a double panel here, also looking very good. This, you can tell that it's the 80s, or if it's not, it looks like. But I'm loving the colors, so shiny, so bright. This is classic illustration done well. I like it very much. And we can see already that the panels are just not plain grids. The illustrators play a lot with the panels. That's good to see. Let's skip a little bit ahead and maybe enter the 90s, and let's see if it shows. Legion Quest. Lots of double page panels. Let's skip faster. Okay, I think we got to the 90s here with X-Men Alpha, A New World, A New Beginning. Yeah. different kind of painting. I think I prefer the previous artwork to this, must confess. Let's just scroll a little bit more before we go on to the next book. So like I said, even though these stories are old, Marvel has done us a favor and collected all these related stories to get a fully comprehensive story with books that relate to each other. And that's good because this way we don't have to buy each and every issue, scavenge the internet to find out what we should be buying to get the whole picture, because if you've tried to do that before, you know it's a hard task, because continuity is a big problem in Marvel and DC also. So to know what to read in which order, when we get it done by, oh, here's the cover by Alex Ross. When you get that curated by Marvel people, well, we just have to thank them for the smooth reading experience with none of the hassle of trying to figure, unless you like to scavenge the internet for that. Okay, next in line, DC. Let's change publishing editor, and this is a book that we had already sold, but it was a direct request, so it didn't stay at the shop. But yeah, it's Frank Miller and Jim Lee, and Jim Lee was at the top of his game in this book. He must have given a lot of his heart, put a lot of his heart in this book. And this book has a peculiarity. Well, the artwork is all astonishing, but it's got a centerfold unfolding setting that you just open and open and open and open, and you've got a 360 degree view of the Batcave, and it's something amazing. When I saw that, my jaw just dropped, because if that wasn't enough for all of the illustration that you're seeing here, which is like absolutely superb, why isn't Jim Lee doing more comics? I don't know, it's a pity. So here you see the Batcave, and then you start unfolding and unfolding. I've shown this in another video dedicated to this book, and look, we're seeing, right? Isn't this gorgeous? Jim Lee is a master in his craft. These guys should never get to be bosses. They should always be forced to draw. Sit on your desk and draw. It's a crime to take a man like this out of the drawing board. Yeah, it's really a pity. This is one of the best looking books around there from DC and Marvel and whatever. This is what excellent artwork looks like. Modern, dynamic. Even the colors, I don't know who does the colors. Who does the colors for this? Because the colors are awesome. Alex Sinclair. So congratulations, Alex, because you really contributed to this book looking amazing. Really, really amazing. It's just not Jim Lee, but Alex Sinclair did really put his heart into it also. Look at this. These huge panels. This is incredible. Look, another one. So it's one after another. This is a feast for the eyes. I haven't read the book, so I don't know if the story is great, average, or excellent. And honestly, I don't care that much because I want to see all the panels and languish in just contemplating them. We've got some artwork by Jim Lee before it gets painted by Sinclair. It's also a nice treat. And some full-page covers, not those tiny ones that sometimes we get. This is a beautiful book, and I've got a feeling that it will make my private collection too. Not only the shop. I have a strong feeling about that. Then another thing. So this has been in the radar now because the TV series, the sci-fi series, has gone live. I'm not exactly sure when. Maybe it had a different date in America and Europe, but I started hearing about it very recently. After this book came to our radar, I didn't even know that there was a series on the making. And the premise here is, it reminds me of a Vision or something like that in Marvel. It must face the same kind of dilemma. So it's an alien that lives among the humans. So it's a stranded alien's hope is to stay off humanity's radar until he can be rescued. So he's been left at Earth. He's at a place that is weird for him. He is weird for us, undoubtedly. So he tries to stay low profile. But he gets pulled into a surprising murder mystery by the town's desperate mayor and struggling police chief, Dr. Harry Vanderspiegel. He learns more about the human condition than he ever wanted to. So this comes from the acclaimed creators Peter Hogan, that is known by 2000 AD and Tom Strong, and Steve Parkhouse, known by Milkman Murders, Doctor Who, and it delivers a truly unique sci-fi adventure tale with heart and humor. This omnibus collects the first three Resident Alien graphic novels, so Welcome to Earth, The Suicide Blonde, and The Samhain Mystery. And it features also new introductions from the creators, a gallery featuring color cover art from the original comic book run. So it says it's a very well-balanced value price. And it's got an introduction to Dr. Harry's Strange World and the unique comic series that is not now a sci-fi original show. Okay, let's see how it looks like. I think the illustrations are probably not what made it so famous. I think it's more of the writing. And the writing, I just skipped that, but it's by Peter Hogan's. And then the artwork, colors, and the letters, everything else is by Steve Parkhouse. So you got a little introduction about the character in the book. And we have a nice looking panel there. Welcome to Earth. So I like this style of art. This scene, I think the trailer that I saw was actually depicting something like this with our alien guy calmly fishing in the lake and getting spotted and called out. Okay, and then we have a jump to 3 years before, and we see when he crashes into the earth. And this is the current timeline. He's being held for questioning or something like that. So it must be interesting to yeah, I can see it easily. I can see that it's easy to build drama around this character because he is an hyperbole metaphor for displacement, feelings of rejection, like racism or what, because he couldn't be more weird and out of place because he's a damn alien. So there must be people hating him just for what he is, wanting him to die just because he's so different. Maybe he has some special abilities that make other people envious, and by that meaning to harm him. And it's got some crime murder ingredient. So we'll probably be playing either the passive detective or being thrown at the circumstances and having to do that part without wanting to. That's what I'm expecting. But yeah, I believe that the strong assets in this book must be in the story, character interaction, plot, and it's not really about sci-fi spaceships and what the hell. It just happens to be an alien, but he is living like us with the assets we've got. So he's playing human, and the book seems to show that, yeah, it's not about aliens, it's about an alien and about a someone that just doesn't belong. It could not be an alien, but the fact that he's an alien makes it easy to explore that side of not belonging, not being wanted, and etc. So highly curious about this. This has a cover price of $28.50. It's a Dark Horse edition, and as you can see, it's a thick paperback. Dark Horse calls omnibus uses the term omnibus very differently from Marvel and DC, as you know. So they're not typically hardcover, though they have hardcover editions. But I was just trying to get the date where this was compiled, but it's got so many. First edition 2020, and yeah, and the mini series. Okay, I can see 2012, 2013. Yeah, and it's around that 2012 to 2013, 14, and it was collected just recently, last year. Yeah. So cover price is $28.50. Like I said, for a book like this, it's cheap considering that we're going to apply a good discount there. The next book is by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. It's actually a return to stock because we couldn't get our hands in many copies at the time, and the one we had was already promised to a customer who got it firsthand just as it was released, and then it must have gone out of print or something like that because we had to wait until just now to get more copies. But here's one. I'm going to tear it open so you can appreciate. As you know, as you might know, Reckless is a new series by Ed Brubaker and Sean Phillips. This is the first volume, but there's already The Friend of a Devil, and another title that Sean Phillips has been showing in social media. So he's already working in the third volume. This is a very nice looking small hardcover. It's not oversized, but it is very, very smooth and very thick cover, super sturdy book by Image Comics. It almost looks like a Dark Horse edition because the paper is also superb. It's incredible the thickness of this paper. We don't see this often. Like I said, it feels like a Dark Horse edition. So this is Sean Phillips, so you know it's gonna be great artwork, great coloring, and it's Brubaker, so you know it's gonna be super well told story. And I can vote for this with my eyes closed and say that this is a very good book at the very least, because these guys have been working together for years now. They've been perfecting their art. Brubaker is for a very long time one of the best writers of crime, murder, mystery scene, and is totally dedicated to that genre. So he really knows what he's doing. He's got years and years of experience, and